morning, students. This is Murthy, sir. Today, you will learn about an interesting topic in biology, ethology, the scientific study of animal behavior. Ethology is the scientific and objective study of animal behavior, usually with a focus on behavior under natural conditions and viewing behavior as an evolutionarily adaptive trait. In this flowchart, you can clearly observe how evolution had taken place in the course of millions of years. Three ethologists, Konrad Lorenz, Nikolaus Tinbergen, and Karl von Frisch, who did pioneering work in the field of ethology. The Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine for 1973 was awarded to three ethologists, Karl von Frisch, Konrad Lorenz, and Nikolaus Tinbergen. This was a landmark event in the history of the field of ethology and potentially for the behavioral sciences more broadly. The four types of animal behavior are imprinting, instinct, imitation, and conditioning. Ethologist Konrad Lorenz did pioneering work in the study of imprinting behavior in geese. In psychology and ethology, imprinting is any kind of phase-sensitive learning that is rapid and apparently independent of the consequences of behavior. Imprinting behavior in geese observed by ethologist Konrad Lorenz. Imprinting behavior is a phenomenon exhibited by several species when young, commonly birds such as duckling and chicks. Upon coming out of their eggs, they will follow and become attached to the first moving object they encounter. According to ethology, now let us see what is instinct, a kind of animal behavior. Instinct, an inborn impulse or motivation to action typically performed in response to specific external stimuli. Today, instinct is generally described as a stereotyped, apparently unlearned, genetically determined behavior pattern. Examples of behaviors that do not require conscious will include many reflexes. Examples of instinctive behaviors in humans include many of the primitive reflexes, such as rooting and suckling, behaviors which are present in mammals. The art of making beautiful nests by birds is an instinctive behavior. Peacock, it spreads its wings and dances in joy when it is about to rain. This is an instinctive behavior. According to ethology, let us see what is imitation, a kind of animal behavior. Imitation, a copying tendency, is an advanced behavior whereby an individual observes and replicates another's behavior. Imitation is also a form of social learning that leads to the development of traditions and ultimately a culture. Imitation behavior in chimpanzees was observed by psychologist Wolfgang Kohler. According to the observation of Wolfgang Kohler, if a chimpanzee collects a fruit with the help of a stick, other chimpanzees They observe this and they also imitate the same kind of action. Wolfgang Kohler was a German psychologist who contributed to the creation of Gestalt psychology. Here you can see the photograph of great psychologist Wolfgang Kohler. Mentality of Apes, which was published in the year 1921, this paper analyzes Kohler's experiments and notions of intelligent behavior in chimpanzees, emphasizing his distinctly descriptive approach to these issues. It also makes an effort to elucidate some of the theoretical ideas of Wolfgang Kohler. The ultimate goal of this paper is to assess the historical significance of Kohler's book within the context of the animal psychology of his time. Russian psychologist Ivan Pavlov proposed classical conditioning theory. Ideas of classical conditioning originate from old philosophical theories. However, it was the Russian psychologist Ivan Pavlov who elucidated classical conditioning. His work provided a basis for later behaviorists like John Watson and B.F. Skinner. Conditioning in physiology, a behavioral process whereby response becomes more frequent or more predictable in a given environment as a result of reinforcement, with reinforcement typically being a stimulus or reward for a desired response. Here you can see the sequential representation of classical conditioning experiment done by Russian psychologist Ivan Pavlov. Here, in the first stage, food was offered to the dog. There is salivation naturally. In the second stage, bell was given. Naturally, no salivation. In the third stage, food was offered along with bell. Salivation is there. In the fourth stage or the final stage, bell was given but food was not offered and there is salivation. Ivan Pavlov was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1904 for his contributions to physiology or medicine.